Hi, friends. It's good to be with you today, and it was wonderful to be with many of you last night in that wonderful choir Zoom call that we had. In case you weren't able to join us, I wanted to make this video available today to share some of the information that we discussed last night so that we're all on the same page. Last night we focused on a plan for the adult choir that will get us through the end of the year. This email has a calendar attached to it that sketches that plan out for you. But I wanted to give you some details about some of what's on there today so you can contextualize it a little bit better. Right now, the big thing you need to know about is next week we will be having an adult choir orientation on Wednesday at 7:15 in the sanctuary to flesh out the plan as we move forward. In person, we will be socially distanced. We'll be wearing masks and doing all of that. But in case you aren't yet going to be with us, that's perfectly okay. And we will be making all of the information available to you later in the week by an email. So you can choose to take part in that orientation, either in person on Wednesday or online later in the week as that information is posted. If you look through the calendar, you will see that we will be having some parking lot rehearsals outdoors. In December, we will be doing some Christmas caroling in small groups. But I wanted to share with you in this video some details about the main portion of what we will be doing this fall. Had a music minister friend who I heard him say recently that his inner alarm clock is going off. And I could relate to him. It's hard to believe that it's the month of September now, and in a normal year, we would have began work on Christmas music probably over a month ago. So all of us are feeling some anticipation as Christmas approaches, and it seems like we should be getting down to business and looking at some Christmas music. So that's why I'm wearing my hat today. We probably have some 90-degree weather ahead of us still. It's still September, but some of us are already thinking about Christmas trees and Christmas cookies and Christmas movies and hot chocolate, and yes, Christmas music. And I've got to confess to you, Christmas is my favorite season of the year. My very favorite moment of the year is when we are in the dark, candlelit sanctuary and the choir processes in as the orchestra begins to play. And I just about live for the moment in which the congregation stands to sing, "O Come, All You Faithful," to a full organ. And I'm already craving the magic moments in rehearsal as we prepare our Christmas music, in which a certain chord or maybe a turn of phrase speaks directly to my heart. Do you remember the theme of our Christmas programs over the past 3 years? I asked the choir this last night, and nobody could remember all of them off the top of their head. That's okay. 2017 was A Thrill of Hope. 2018 was Prince of Peace. 2019 was How Great Our Joy. And hope, peace, and joy, the first major themes of the Advent season. We light the hope candle and the peace candle and the joy candle as we progress through Advent. And this year, we will finish out this Advent sequence by focusing on the theme of love. I recently heard a lyric of a worship song that said, "God put 1,000,000 doors in this world for His love to walk through, and one of those doors is you." I thought that was a really profound way to look at it. As a choir, can our presence be a door or a pathway for God's love to be revealed to those around us? Yes, it can, and it should be. We have a job to do to share God's love with our neighbors, and this year we're going to do just that. But it's going to look a little bit different. It's going to stretch us out of our comfort zones. But at the same time, it has the potential of expanding our reach and furthering the ministry of our choir. The highlight of our fall calendar will be something that we're calling Christmas at Bonsack. It's a virtual choir presentation that will be shared with our church family and with our community, both in worship and online. Most all of you will remember that back in May we released a video of a small choir of about 16 or 18 people singing the song Is He Worthy, an Andrew Peterson song. I went back and checked, and over 9,000 people have viewed that video, about 8,800 on Facebook, and even more on our Vimeo account. That's a whole lot of people. In fact, that's over 10 times the number of people who regularly attend our Christmas program in person. So this Christmas, we will continue to expand this reach and further our horizons by creating a larger virtual choir presentation that will include each one of you. Each person in the choir will be in their little Brady Bunch square, and you will be singing together, but this will be expertly produced with various camera angles that roam the rows of the choir, just as if we were in person singing together. The presentation will include a selection of Christmas favorites and probably a message from our pastor, all weaves together. So right now, what do you need to do besides take part in our orientation next week in person or online? Just need to get ready. As we approach October, we will be having sectional rehearsals, both online and in person, for you to learn the Christmas music. The good news is you only have 2 or 3 Christmas songs that you'll need to learn this year. And we will schedule times for you to come into a studio here at the church and record your portion, either by yourself or in small groups of 2 or 3 people. Now, I understand this might be a little intimidating. I've done some virtual choir videos in the past, and before we can hear everything put together, we have to record our part by ourselves or with small groups, and that can feel a little bit intimidating. I know I've done it, and sometimes I get a little nervous when it's just me singing. But the good news is nobody except for maybe me and our producers will hear you sing by yourself. Lindsay Ostergaard recorded in our virtual choir back in May, and she said while she was watching the video of herself singing alone, with no music to be heard, she had doubts about how the whole thing would come together. But she said in true choir style, it takes all of the parts to make a joyful noise. And once she saw it put together, she was overwhelmed by how it sounded and how it looked. She said, my little mess-ups were marked, and the project was a blessing to our church congregation. It was a fun way to contribute to our church's ministry through music, even while we social distance. Now, I want to be clear, if you aren't comfortable being around people yet, you can still participate in the virtual choir video. The rehearsals will be available online so you can practice in the safety and comfort of your own living room. And I'd be more than happy to meet with you one-on-one if you'd like to go over the music someone. But when we actually record your part of the video, you'll be in an isolated area of the church, and it'll just be you and perhaps me or maybe one other as we record together. The effectiveness of what we're trying to do this season depends in part on how many people participate. So we really need and want everyone to be participating in this project. And I believe that this might just be the most memorable Christmases in Bonsack history. So there are a lot of details here, and I imagine you have a lot of questions. Next week in our orientation, we will try our best to answer the questions that might be on your mind right now. We will be giving you more details about what each of these processes will look like. But it will be good to see you and be together as we launch into a new season. So we will see you Wednesday in person, or we will be in touch later in the week online as we continue to move into preparations for a wonderful Advent and Christmas season. So God's blessings to you, and we will see you soon. Take care.